From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Hello everyone, welcome to Open Line. I'm Ben Hall. Good show tonight. We are talking about homelessness in Nashville. We have with us two people from the current administration who will detail what is being done to address homelessness in Nashville. Certainly as we head toward the cold winter months, it's a very important issue. Happy to have with us Eric Cole, Director of Office of Economic Opportunity and Empowerment. Eric, thank you for being with us.
Glad to be here.
That's a new office. We'll talk about that. And Will Conley, head of the Metro Homelessness Commission. Will, thank you.
Happy to be here.
Thanks for being here. Big picture, how serious a problem is homelessness in Nashville? We're a growing city. Is homelessness growing? What would you say?
Yeah, it's a tough environment right now. We have, fortunately, like a lot of people are moving to Nashville, because of our economy, and it's a beautiful place to live. But that means that rent rates are going way up. So it's just tougher for people to find housing that's affordable. Every year we count about 2,000 people experiencing homelessness on one night. And that's probably an undercount. So, a city of our size, we have a significant number of folks who are sleeping in the shelter system and out on the streets and in campsites. So.
And one of the things, Eric, Office of Economic Opportunity and Empowerment deals with is affordable housing. Is that right? First of all, so tell me, what is that office? It's a new creation. Yeah. What is it doing, and what is it all about?
Sure. So Mayor Barry created the office as the new administration got started, and we're really focused on a number of the priorities that she set for her administration, but our priorities she heard from across Nashville. So affordable housing and working on a multitude of solutions there, leveraging public-private sector forces to try to get at some of these issues we've already talked about: rising rents, the need for a greater amount of rental properties at affordable levels, and that sort of thing. We're also working on economic development and trying to, on workforce development, and on trying to push the city's framework towards a set of workforce development goals that kind of meet the jobs of the future, but also that give low-income individuals, middle-income individuals that kind of career pathway to get into better-paying jobs, to raise their own family situations. It's really about trying to bring the great prosperity and advancement that the city's seen across the board to everybody, no matter what part of the city you live in, or no matter what your current income level may be.
When you look at homelessness in Nashville, what is the root cause? And what are some of the causes, I guess? Is it that rents are getting higher and higher and people are being forced out on the street, literally? Or is it that we're a booming city, people are moving here, they expect to make it big in country music, and they don't? What is the reason that people are homeless in our city?
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, it's that people just can't afford to pay their rent. That's a simple way of thinking about it. There are lots of other factors that come into play. If you have a substance use, issue, or you don't have family support, then, that makes it tougher if you fall in hard times, to get really back on your feet and stay in housing. But really, when it comes, there are a lot of people who have a lot of different barriers and are able to stay in their home because it's affordable and it's a smaller percentage of their income.
But we're losing that in Nashville now. There's no doubt as we grow, and that was a big issue in the campaign, the number of affordable housing units has gone down. We're seeing historic rises in our property values, and that's making it tougher on people. And so I guess I ask you,
sure,
how do you deal with that?
Well, there's a number of approaches, and there are a number of things happening as we speak to look at different options. The planning department, kind of led by the Metro Council's directive, is evaluating the concept of inclusionary housing. So are there things in our zoning code? Are there things in how the private industry develops in Nashville? Are there incentives? They are looking at are there mandatory ways as well, but that's still in the mix. We will have a report come out of that process in December and January, and there'll probably be legislation in front of the Metro Council at that point. The idea is, how can we either incentivize private developers to also build in some affordable housing in different parts of the community, or to pay into an in lieu of fund to help develop more affordable housing. That's one answer. We've also got to look at preserving home ownership and helping folks that are in neighborhoods where their property taxes are going to go up. That's another approach. And then obviously the Barnes Fund that Mayor Dean created is an important tool. We're looking hard at ways to fund the Barnes Fund, and of course that was one of the major priorities that Mayor Barry had in the campaign.
Let's go. Oh, what did you want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that, for folks who are on the streets, like, they're facing even more barriers in terms of getting into housing. Like, a lot of folks don't really have, some people may not have the best rental histories. They have evictions on their record, don't have the best credit, and maybe have, been involved in the criminal justice system. So, they and then their incomes are somewhere between $0 a month to maybe $10,000 a year, somewhere around there. So just imagine being in that position and trying to compete with folks with higher incomes and better credits.
And so many people are moving in. So many young people are moving in, and sure, they don't have some criminal background. I'm sure that is a major barrier for a lot of people, and that's very difficult.
Yeah, and some of it can be, pretty low level. When you say criminal, it can be criminal trespassing, or stuff that people who have homes and four walls don't really have to worry about.
Yeah, but as the rental market has tightened up, you've definitely seen landlords making a choice, and whereas a couple of years ago they might have been able to be a little more lax on a credit history or on a criminal background check, the market is tightened up. So looking at some of these other ways to incentivize private developers, nonprofit developers, and then focus on the kinds of services that you need for this population, case management as well. All of that coming together is a way we'll get towards some solutions.
Let's go to Ishmael. Ishmael, hello? Are you there? Oh.
Yeah, I'm here. How are you?
Go right ahead. What's on your mind?
Okay, my question is, I'm not going to get into whatever I was convicted for. They say drugs, and I don't think that was the right thing. But the thing is, I work, and I cannot get like $500, $600, one-bedroom apartment in Nashville. What should I do? I work. I want to pay my rent.
So you want to pay $500 or $600, and you can't find that? Is that what you're saying?
A month, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Saying he has felony, or he has a conviction. He's looking for something. He works. He has a job. $500-600 a month. That is going to be hard to find, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a number of places we would suggest that somebody like that go and start. The Tennessee Housing Development Agency has done a Tennessee Housing Search, where you can do a full search by what you can pay and kind of what your situation is. Again, if the criminal history there is an issue, though, that may be a barrier as well.
And what do we consider to be, when we talk about affordable housing, what is affordable?
That's a great question.
What is the level? He says $500 a month. What is it a month that would be considered affordable?
Yeah, you can add on to this, but we usually think about 30% of your total income on rent and utilities. So, if Ishmael is making, what would that be? I'm terrible with math. $1,500-ish a month, and he's paying $500. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then that would be, an amount that wouldn't really burden him that much, and would, make it more likely for him to be able to maintain his housing. So, for thousands of people probably, that's unrealistic, or it's more like 50% and above. Or I can't remember what. There was a recent report about that. But,
the conversation for Ishmael, but for others too, is when we talk about affordable housing, we're also in some conversations talking about what's also called workforce housing, and that can be teachers and firefighters and police officers and folks who can pay even more in terms of rent, or might even be into a first-time or a home buyer situation. I won't get into the details of what area median income is, but that's a measurement that the feds and the state use that we typically use. And you look at 60% of the median income of our area. Folks that are making 60% of that median income and below are kind of termed more the straight affordable in a rental situation. If you get much lower than 60%, probably need some sort of a subsidy. But then 60 to 80, and then 80 to 120% of this AMI thing is typically workforce housing, is what was termed. And we have a need there too, because we've seen areas change as things have developed, and in that space is where the private development community can really help.
That's an excellent point. Okay, we're going to take a break. If you want to call, there's the number, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. Take a break. Be back right after this.